Hi everyone, Rocker here. Today I want to talk very briefly about the history of the Gorean Gathering Place, which is found on Fetlife. The Gorean Gathering Place was found on Monday, April the 7th, 2008. We just celebrated our 10th anniversary a couple of months ago. And when I first came up with the concept of the Gorean Gathering Place, I wanted it to be different than any other group that I knew that was out there at the time. Back 10, 12 years ago, the most popular forums that were out there were Yahoo groups, and there was bondage.com and Color Me, which was another group as well. And within those groups, basically you had Gorean groups, but they was pretty well almost the same people. And their concept was that if you were brand new and you came in, back then the mentality was basically well, we will judge you and we're going to test your fortitude and basically try to drive you off. And so that was a regular thing. You would have 3, 4, sometimes 5, 6 people jump on a guy. He would come in brand new and he would say, "Hey, I'm brand new, but I'm interested in gore." And you'd have these people jumping all over him and basically mining through his profile, and if there was anything there that was BDSM related or anything that they didn't agree with, boom, that's it. They were basically just, like leading sheep to the slaughter. And for a lot of these people, they thought it was a joke, but it wasn't doing the name of gore any good. It was basically them protecting their little niches and their little fortresses kind of things. But what's happened over the years is a lot of those people, they're no longer around. Many of them have basically stopped being Gorean. A lot of them basically were found out to be basically fakes and frauds, and a couple of them actually ended up going to jail, so which was just one of those things. But anyhow, when the Gorean Gathering Place started, I wanted it to be a wider range, that there would be many different people coming in, sharing their experiences, or asking questions, or having opinions. And I wanted some of the people that had been online for eons, some that I met even 10, 12, even 15 years earlier. I wanted them to come over to Fetlife and to be able to join the Gorean Gathering Place and to be able to give their opinions and share their viewpoints. People from some online groups like Silk and Steel. I made a plea out to some of the Yahoo groups that I knew that some of these people were in, for them to be able to come over and join Fetlife, because it was important to be able to have their opinion and their viewpoints. Oftentimes I don't agree with their approach, or I don't agree with their mentality, or just some of the things that they say I don't agree in. But it was important that there is a wide range and an opportunity for many different voices to be able to come together, so that when you had new people coming in, they had as much of a variance of opinions and life experiences and journeys and viewpoints, so that when they wanted to make a decision and they started going and reading the books, that they were able to make the best decision possible. And we've been very fortunate that way. Over the 10 years, we have over 3,000 members. We're still the largest group, the most active group on Fetlife. We've have over 21,000 comments, close to I can't remember what the amount of posts is. I think it's close to 1,000 posts. It's actually more than that, but many have been deleted. And the ones that were deleted were basically because people that joined, that if they end up quitting or being booted off of Fetlife, everything that they said basically ends up following them. And at the same time, there's numerous times where the caretakers had to come in during the span between 3 and 5 years ago, that I looked at how many messages I had from the caretakers, complaining about this person, or this person squealing on this person, or this person is bitching about this person, and whatever. That it's well over 100 emails. where they've come in and said, well, they've had to do something, or they've asked me to do something. And sometimes I would, and sometimes I would refuse, because I felt that the viewpoints that were given, even though they were extreme, I still wanted them left up because it was important. Sometimes the caretakers otherwise would end up basically yanking those posts out anyway, but that's neither here nor there. With the Gorean Gathering Place is that we have had a wide range of opinions. We've had Goreans that have come in that have been in the lifestyle and have been very instrumental in bringing about different gatherings, different websites, just different perspectives, and then we have a lot of new people that have been coming in, like over the last year or so, and that are just jumping in with both feet, and they're starting their own gatherings, and they've already adapted their own homestones, and that's great to be able to see. I estimate that over the 10 years is that within the Gorean Gathering Place, and that I've been instrumental, because I have traveled across Canada and down to the States and once over to Scotland, is that we have had over 30 Gorean gatherings that we've been able to promote and been a part of as far as organizing and running. And out of those 30, we've had roughly about 270 people have ended up showing up. It's not a large number, but it's important. And these people have come out and actually started meeting other Goreans or meeting other people that are interested about Gore. And to me, that's very important. I would love nothing greater than to be able to see the Gorean Gathering Place continue to be a place where it's a vehicle and a medium where people will continue to talk with one another, and they will start their own homestones. They will start their own gatherings in their city, and it doesn't matter the size of the amount of people that have come out. I've had gatherings as small as 6-7 people. I've had some gatherings that have been larger than 30, but it needs to start somewhere. And so if you're watching this video, I'd like you to really consider talking with your master, or if you know another Gorean that lives relatively close by, hey, why don't we try one? And we're just going to invite those that are interested in Gore or other Goreans to be able to come out, and just it doesn't have to be well planned out. You don't need to have a huge list of as far as discussions. Just get together, and you'll find that things will flow fairly freely. When you're talking about Gore and what you love about Gore, and everyone's sharing their passion and what it means to them, and close to their heart and their identity and their life experiences, that's all they really need. It doesn't have to be this big fangled production. It's just getting together, fellowshipping with one another. Those things are important. Going off topic there, sorry about that. Also within the Gorean Gathering Places that I've been very fortunate is that being the moderator is that I've been asked now 12 times to be able to get together with people, to be able to perform collaring ceremonies, and each of them has been a real honor, and it's meant a lot to me to be able to do that for other people, and to be able to be involved in their union as master and slave, to be able to be a word of encouragement, and to be able to get together with their family and with their friends, and to get to meet a lot of new people, and just to be able to share with them. That's always a good time, and I always enjoy those times very, very much. Also, I've been a godfather twice through different people that I've met through the Gorean Gathering Place, and they've asked me to be a godfather to a couple of different times to different couples once they've had children, and that's always been another great thing. That's the brand new experience for me. I've been a godfather for many of my own children that came through my youth group or through my mission group or through civic duties as far as the community center when I was the president of one of the community centers here. But to come in through the Gorean Gathering Place, that even has a, a deeper meaning. It means even that much more. I've had the opportunity through the Gorean Gathering Place of actually meeting a couple of girls. As I met Lady J, as I met her originally through the Gorean Gathering Place. That if you look back in the Gorean quotes, is she was one of the first ones that would respond as far as favorite quotes. And not knowing who she was for a couple of years, but she was fairly active, and we talked back and forth a little bit. But she was the matriarch down in Halifax and of Nova Scotia as far as the kink community down there, and a very strong woman. And she decided that she wanted to be able to explore being a slave, and so we entered into a 3-month contract. And I would fly down regularly, and she came up once when there was a trade show happening in Toronto, and it was a good time. It was a good experience for her to be able to try it. It was interesting how the community down in Nova Scotia, how they reacted to it, because they weren't sure, seeing their matriarch, which was sort of the strong woman that was sort of organized everything, and she had been involved with kink.com. She was on the TV program the whole bit, and seeing her as a slave, and the fact that she was wearing a collar and that she was, sitting at my feet. Some of them had a little bit of difficulty with that, but it was a good learning experience for everyone involved. Also, I had another girl just recently, last year actually, down in the Buffalo area, that I got together with for a while, and another beautiful lady that just a lot of things going on with her that are very positive. Had her involved in belly dancing, and just a real great person to be around. So I've been very fortunate with that. Is that most of the girls that I meet basically come out to either the workshops or the seminars that I'm running, or basically a couple of them I've actually just met. One was pumping gas at the gas station when I was going in to get gas. A couple I've actually met at the food market, kind of thing. So, which is quite interesting. Where you're going to meet different people, you never know. So just a word of encouragement that if you're single out there, always keep your eyes open, keep the radar up, because you'll never know when someone's going to cross your path. And I'll never get into a situation where you're kicking yourself with the what if. What if I had gone up and said something to that individual? Or what if I had approached that person, just said hello? You don't want to get in that situation. Always jumping feet first. Make sure that you jump in softly. You don't want to scare the hell out of them. But you never know as far as meeting different people. So anyhow, wrapping things up here is the Gathering Place has been together now for 10 years. There are some things happening, hopefully over the next few months that I've been working on. Some things I had hoped I would have up and running by now. One of them was a podcast, and I wanted people to be able to share their testimonies and have an actual recorded history of Goreans. To me, I thought that was very important, and that would be up on YouTube and on Speaker and Mixcloud and different mediums, so that way that would always be there through a third party. And also that one of the things that was just in the works, it's taken a little bit longer, is I would like to start in Ottawa and in Washington once a year, having a mini larger gathering, and that sometimes people finances are fairly tight, but with Washington is that things could be circled around the Master Slave Conference, which is taking place in Washington, Baltimore area. And in Canada it would be focused around something else that I haven't really thought of, because there's there's a lot happening up in Ottawa, but as far as things that are geared more that Goreans would be interested in, there's really not a lot up there. So we basically would be making our own. And I already have a couple of venues that I've looked at. One of them I've actually put a deposit down on, and it's just a matter of starting working on the details and getting people, hey, we have an opportunity here. I'd like to see this be an annual thing. I don't want to do this on my own, but I want this to be something that Goreans will come on a regular basis annually. And to me, I think that's very important as well. That way it gives an opportunity for new people to come out, gives an opportunity for other Goreans that maybe don't know each other to be able to start meeting face to face, building friendships, building relationships with one another, and then making that an annual pilgrimage kind of thing. So those things are in the works as well. So anyhow, if you're watching this, probably you are involved in the Gorean Gathering Place, and for that I thank you. For everyone that has participated, I want to be able to thank you as well. Is what you shared is important. A lot of you have spoken from your heart, and you've spoken from your life experiences, and that means a lot. We have many, and I mean many people that are sitting back and are quietly reading the post. But I receive messages regularly from people that you will never hear post, but they'll ask me a question in private message about, well, what is this about, or what's that about, or can you explain this, or could you give me some references on this? And I have no issues as far as doing those things. Sometimes it's been a little bit overwhelming, but it's important. And so if you are in the Gorean Gathering Place, thank you from the bottom of my heart. It means a lot that you're there, and that you feel comfortable being there, and that you're able to participate, or even just sit back and just read. That's important too. I encourage you to read other people's opinions, the different viewpoints, and center that around reading the books. It's important that it's focused on the books, and there'll be things that will appeal to me, that I can find in the books that really speak, very strongly to me, that maybe to somebody else might not be the case, and that happens, and there's nothing wrong with that. If you can base it on the books or whatever, then that's all that really matters. At the same time, sometimes you'll hear people say completely the most retarded things out there, and it's not in the books. It's just them making shit up top of their head, and you can ground that. Okay, well, this guy's talking out his ass because this is what the book says on that. So that's important as well. So anyhow, thank you for watching. Hopefully a little bit rambling on here, but I do appreciate you being a part of the Gorean Gathering Place, and hopefully you'll continue. And when we move on some of these other things, I would love to be able to see you coming out to one of them. So take care. Have a great day.